The year is 1852. The Oregon Trail stretches ahead, an endless expanse of dust, rock, and sky. Thousands of souls are moving westward, their eyes filled with dreams of a new beginning, their hearts carrying the heavy weight of an unknown future. But this long journey is not just about hope. It is a test of supreme endurance, sacrifice, and at times, a suffocating loneliness. Today had been one of those grueling days. After miles of rugged terrain and choking dust storms, our wagon train finally halted at the edge of a vast, open prairie. As the sun dipped below the horizon, bleeding into shades of deep purple and gold, an eerie, total silence settled over the land. The camp has grown cold, and one by one, exhausted families have crawled into their tents or the cramped beds of their covered wagons. But James cannot sleep. He sits alone by the dying embers of his campfire. The flames dance weakly against the oppressive darkness, and in that dim light, the memories of days left behind etch themselves clearly onto his weathered face. The nights on the Oregon Trail can be beautifully, terrifyingly quiet. But within this silence lies a universe of untold grief and unspoken hope. James tightly grips the wooden mug in his hands. The coffee inside turned cold hours ago, but he doesn't care. His gaze is fixed on the deep darkness beyond the camp's perimeter. It was only a few months ago that they left Missouri. Back then, the air was filled with laughter, music, and the naive excitement of pioneers. But the Oregon Trail has a way of stripping away illusions. It forgives no one. Every mile gained feels like a toll paid in blood and sweat. A broken axle, a sudden cholera outbreak, or a grave dug hastily by the side of the trail. This is the true grim currency of the West. James looks down at his boots, his mind drifting to his younger brother, Thomas. Just 3 days ago, right here on this dusty trail, Thomas took his last breath. They had to bury him in the earth, leaving him behind in an unmarked grave. Out here, there is no time to mourn. The wagon train waits for no one. Life here is brutally, relentlessly moving forward. James tilts his head back and looks up. The night sky over the Oregon Trail is unlike anything he has ever seen. Millions of stars blaze with a fierce, brilliant light, like diamonds scattered across black velvet by an invisible artist. In the presence of such cosmic vastness, James realizes how small they all are, and yet how deeply their tragedies ache. The sheer beauty of the night sky somehow softens the heavy burden in his chest. Suddenly, a sharp sound breaks through the silence from the darkness beyond the wagons. James freezes. On the Oregon Trail, no matter how quiet the night seems, danger is always just a shadow away. Is it a pack of wolves? A mountain lion? Or perhaps a thief looking to steal their remaining horses under the cover of night? James slowly reaches down and lifts his rifle. His heart hammers against his ribs. Moving away from the warmth of the fire, he tries to adjust his eyes to the pitch-black void. There it is again, the distinct snap of a dry twig, followed by the rustle of tall prairie grass. James steps carefully, using the wheel of a wagon for cover. Out here, a second of carelessness means a permanent resting place under the dirt. He raises the rifle to his shoulder, aiming toward the noise. But as the faint light of the moon breaks through a cloud, it illuminates the intruder, and James lowers his rifle, his grip loosening. It isn't a predator or an enemy. Standing just a few feet away is a young deer, a fawn, likely separated from its herd. Intrigued by the dying glow of the fire, it had wandered closer. James exhales a long, shaky breath. In the middle of this harsh, unforgiving wasteland, this moment of innocent curiosity feels like a miracle. The fawn stares at James for a few seconds with wide, dark eyes, before turning and vanishing back into the shadows. Can't sleep either, James?
The low, raspy voice makes James turn around. Walking toward him is old Samuel, the oldest member of their wagon train. Samuel's face is a map of deep lines, etched by decades of surviving the frontier. He sits down heavily on a log opposite James. James shakes his head. "No, Samuel. I keep thinking about my brother, and I wonder if we're chasing a ghost. Are we ever going to make it to Oregon? Is all this suffering worth it?" Samuel looks into the glowing embers, a gentle, sad smile appearing on his face. "This trail isn't just a road, James. It's a crucible. It burns away who you were to forge who you need to be. The people who make it to the Willamette Valley aren't just lucky. They are transformed. Your brother Thomas didn't die for nothing. He died chasing a dream of a better life. He would want you to see that green valley for both of you. These quiet nights aren't meant to make you feel weak, James. They are given to us to remember why we started. Look around. The silence is proof you survived another day. Your fight isn't over yet." Samuel's words echo in the stillness of the night, striking a deep chord within James. For the first time in days, the knot of despair in his stomach begins to loosen. By the time Samuel retreats to his wagon, the deep blue of the night sky begins to fracture. A pale line of orange and pink bleeds across the eastern horizon, and the heavy, oppressive darkness of the night finally begins to retreat. The campfire has died down to gray ash, its smoke rising lazily into the crisp morning air. Around the camp, the silence breaks. Stirring sounds echo from the wagons, the clatter of iron pots, the shouts of men readying the oxen, and the waking cries of children. Another day of dust and sweat is about to begin. James places his rifle back inside his wagon and takes a deep, cold breath of the morning air. The grief is still there, but the paralyzing fear of the night has dissolved with the dawn. The quiet night on the Oregon Trail is over, and a new day's journey has begun. Ahead lies hundreds of miles of unknown dangers, steep mountains, and roaring rivers. But James steps forward into the sunlight with a renewed spirit. He is no longer alone. He walks with his dreams, his memories, and the newfound strength granted to him by the quiet night. They will keep moving forward in search of Oregon.